to the story of the Covenanters? And what do these men and women of the 17th century say to the 20th century?
Yes, well, the Covenanter story is now 300 years old. But we ignore the lessons of that story to our own loss, I believe. There are three things I think they still have to say to us. First of all, the religious indifference of our day, which marks our day, would have utterly shocked our Covenanter forefathers. To think that men could be casual, indifferent, or could ignore eternal things would seem to them unthinkable, almost criminal. That's the first thing. And one has to decide, is theirs the right attitude, or is the modern casual attitude the right one? Secondly, we have an old saying that eternal vigilance is the price of freedom. It's an old tag, but it's still relevant today. The liberties that we enjoy, the religious liberties and freedom that we enjoy in our country were bought at tremendous price. And if we would keep these for our children and children's children, we must seek to preserve them. But thirdly, it seems to me, reading the story of the Covenant, seems to me that the hallmark of the Covenanter lay in a deep personal love and commitment to Jesus Christ. And I use the term love of Christ considerately. This is a magnetic feature of the Covenanter story, to reach Christ and to know him and to have a personal relationship with him. In Rutherford's words, we're told, it were a well-spent journey, though 7 days lay between. Or one thinks again of the humbler Covenanter who suffered for his faith in the grass market there, and who testified on the platform, were every hair on my head alive, I would gladly give them all for Jesus Christ. Well, religion is still with us today, but I wonder how many of us know anything of this deep, deep personal commitment to Christ, this love of Christ. The Covenanters tell us, speak to us of it as a reality in their experience. And they still invite us to share that reality.
Thank you, George, for your contribution to our program today. There's the voice of one who has spent his life studying the story of the Covenanters, and who, in his comments to us today, has shown clearly and convincingly how the men and women of the Moss Hags of the 17th century speak to us today in the 20th century. In this program, we have been considering 50 years in the history of the Scottish Church, which must be reckoned by any standards as the cruelest period in that history. Yet, despite the callousness and cruelty of their oppressors, the Covenanters gained much, which is part of our heritage today. Our civil and religious liberties were gained by the Covenanters because they stood against the totalitarianism of their day, and because of their faithfulness to the gospel and the principles which were enshrined in their banners for Christ's crown and covenant. These men and women of the Covenanters did not look upon their victory as a victory for themselves. They looked upon it as a victory for posterity, as they expressed it in the national covenant, that they desired the common happiness for ourselves and for posterity. Today, the enemies of the gospel are just as strong as they were in the days of the Covenanters. Yet, we find that today, the truth that was held by Knox, Melville, Henderson, and the Covenanters requires to be reaffirmed and reasserted. And that truth is, Jesus Christ is King. This was no empty slogan. It was the very warp and woof of the Covenanters' faith. And that truth requires to be declared today in the face of the materialism and godless humanism which seems to be overtaking us in our society. Kingdoms rise and fall, but we know that the kingdoms of this world will one day become the kingdoms of our God and of his Christ, and he shall reign forever and ever, because Jesus Christ is King. Today, these principles need to be reasserted, not only in a national sense, but they need to be brought down to the personal level. These men and women suffered and labored, and gained the victory because of their adherence and their loyalty to Jesus Christ. And we know that even though they died, one day they will be crowned with crowns of glory, and they will reign with Jesus Christ forever and ever. But what of your life and mine today? Is Jesus Christ King of your life? Crown Jesus Christ King today.